Walking Dead was a bad show.
I like
the second after season 7, it was a bad show, I would argue.
Oh, I disagree, Woody. The Whisperers arc I thought was very good. I thought it brought back the anyone could die aspect of The Walking Dead, and
anyone
I love
could die never left. Like important characters were murdered all the way to the end. And I was gonna say Walking Dead's strength was the fact that nobody was safe. When you see these people surrounded by walkers, this could be it. Sometimes it happens kind of unceremoniously and just she's cooked. And that was like Carl, right? Like when Carl died, spoiler, it wasn't like, the worst of the worst. It wasn't like, remember when they killed the girl everyone loved in Game of Thrones? She was young. She led like the Mortimers or something like that. You guys remember this, and she was at Kyle Europe.
The Mormont girl.
The Mormont girl,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
She got a special send-off. This 4'0" chick was single-handedly fighting a zombie giant or something. Not Carl. Carl just got nipped on the ribs by some random zombie because he let his guard down for a second. And now this guy who's been on the show for 9 seasons is gone.
Yeah, I thought that's
Walking
pretty cool,
Dead delivered on the lack of plot armor. And that's the praise I'm trying to give it.
They should have just taken his arm, like take his arm or something. Like, don't kill him. You can't. When they killed off Carl and Rick, that was the show. That was the show for me, because for me it was the Rick and Carl show, and I needed, like, you could kill Rick, but you can't kill Carl. Like, Carl is supposed to be.
He's Rick's motivation.
And, well, he's also like the next generation. He's that generation of kids who. Don't really remember as much before the Walkers as after, and you sort of see what it's like to come of age within this awful world and what that's turned Carl into. Carl had the makings of ultimate badassery. You took his eye away and he was still a badass. He's jumping out of the back of that box truck with an M16 to kill Negan. Like, he should have just smoked Negan.
He delivered his little sister Judith and then murdered her mom before she became. Rad. That's fucking badass. He's like, oh yeah. So we had to give mom kind of an amateur C-section, and then we popped her one in the head because we knew what was coming. That's his childhood.
He was murdering people. There was at the prison season, there was a part where they were at war with the governor and his folks, and some young governor troop wandered into Carl's perimeter, and Carl and the old man sort of had the kid like, "Hey, don't you move!" And Carl was like, "Ever again." And, and the old guy's like, "The fuck? You just executed him." And he's like, "One less problem to deal with." And I'm thinking, like, yeah, it is one less problem to deal with. Now go get some motorcycle leathers quick.
Yeah, Carl with the classic, the body cam was off. Dude, that was that type of execution.
Yeah. Dude, I had my
becomes pretty badass.
I'd have my I quit watching after Rick disappeared.
Right,
after
so you
Carl
don't know.
dead.
But like I watched that, and then I watched Those Who Live, which is the spinoff with Michonne and Rick, and Judith plays a little part in that, and she becomes pretty cool. She's right there with like Maggie or something.
I never liked Michonne very much.
Daryl Dixon's in like France doing shit, and Negan and Maggie are in New York doing shit. Like currently in 2025,
you know what I liked about Walking Dead, and I don't have nearly the expertise you guys do. That one eccentric lunatic who like had a tiger and said he was king.
Oh,
the black guy. Ezekiel rocks. I loved that guy. He was so great. He wanted to like be a king, but then things would happen where that required some empathy, and it was like he was always sweet and nice and like trying to help, and it was like, oh, this guy does not have what it takes to be king. He's too nice. He's too
he took the mask off in one of the episodes. I think he might have been talking to Carol. He's like, I'm an actor. I was in like Shakespeare before this. Yeah. That's what The Lion is all about. But these people needed a king. So here I am with my dumbass lion pretending to be a king. And but with Carol, he was the real him.
And that guy was sweet. I liked Ezekiel.
Carol's my favorite character.
I liked Carol a lot. I never liked Michonne. The like weird, she wasn't interesting, and also like the weird insistence on like swords and being like acting as though she was like defeating a samurai regularly after chopping the head off of a largely non-sentient being was calm the fuck down, you loser. Like I didn't like her.
Katanas were a pretty good weapon, I thought. What would your weapon of choice be?
Spear.
I would use the katanas too, but I wouldn't be fucking showboating about it every time I chopped the head off of someone. I wouldn't go into like Japan stance afterward. It's like, calm down, you stretch,
but you're right.
Goof.
There was some showboating for sure.
I feel like you would
piece
want
of rebar
something
would get it done.
In terms of like a sword. I feel like you'd want something that's more puncturing as opposed to slicing. I feel like slicing, and this might be overthinking it, I think that's a great way to get blood on yourself and eventually get fucking sick.
That seemingly doesn't affect them, but I always think that too. Like, don't get in your eyes, but they do frequently, and it doesn't seem to matter. You'd want a Ruger 1022 with a suppressor on it and a ton of magazines on you, so you could just.
I didn't know that was an option.
That's always an option. They're in Atlanta.
like you want kills a zombie? I guess it
absolutely.
Does. Oh yeah. Put it right through their head.
Rifle? Oh, Ruger 1022. Big magazines. I don't know what those mags go up to.
Man like me would
rounds.
shake off a Ruger 1022.
35 round.
No, men like me
round magazines. Suppressor, laser, bunch of mags on you. You get a poking stick as well. You got an AR-15 to deal with humans if you run into them, and then you wear motorcycle leathers or get some chainmail. They make chainmail. You can get it on Amazon.
I do dislike that they made it seem like a 6-shooter revolver and a crossbow are the ultimate zombie apocalypse weapons.
Worst possible weapons.
Right.
The Python 44 Magnum.
Like the loudest gun I can think of with only 6 rounds.
that
is so inconvenient. That's right.
What is that, Kyle?
That's how Rick holds his gun.
He hold it sideways?
Yes, he's always like holding it sideways like this, all loose. When he's
he
going,
was a cop too.
Like, who I also liked in that show was that old man from season 2, where he was well, there's a whole bunch of nonsense going on out there, but he on my farm, we're mostly maintaining pretty well. And then fucking Coral and the gang shows up, and suddenly it's like, I'm supposed to be siding with Rick, but it's like, Rick, you are just throwing a barrel of wrenches into the gears that is this guy's somehow still functioning farm. Like, you trying to change the power dynamics and that. I liked Herschel.
You probably forgot the details, but Otis shot a deer and the bullet went through and through and shot Carl. Herschel was a veterinarian, so Rick and the boys brought his shot son to Herschel, desperately saying, hey, is there something you can do? Can you help us? Your team shot my son. And Herschel, being a good man, is like, yeah, I'll do what I can, but I need some medicine. So how about your buddy Shane and Otis go to the school over there where the nurse has some medical supplies that I need to operate on your son. So cool guy Shane and Otis go to get the medical supplies. They get overrun with zombies. Shane shoots Otis. All the zombies go to Otis. Shane brings the medical supplies back to Carl because Shane knew how to make the tough decisions. At least that's the storyline. The first time I watched this through, I'm thinking Shane's an absolute asshole. The next time I watch it through, I'm like, this is a little more nuanced because the choice he was making is, do we both die or does one of us get back? And like all 3 of them would have died. Shane, Otis, and Carl.
Yeah. Instead,
Shane and Carl survived and Otis was bait.
Shane was great. Shane actually was the only realist that I recall, and I didn't watch it as thoroughly or as many times as you guys, but Kyle, you're still muted. He
Shane was a step ahead. Shane was the GOAT. He read the situation right off the bat. He was like, oh, the rules are over. There's no more rules anymore. This is kill or be killed. This is split second of like complacency and you're dead. And not just you, but everybody could die. If you go down, then we could all die right here, right now, just because of like being too soft or thinking this over too much when a bullet will solve it right now. And we all live to see another day. And he was that guy. And I appreciated the fuck out of Shane. He was also getting that Lori pussy. Lori, one of the scumbaggiest wives in all of cinema, second only to Walter White's bitch.
I was about to ask you, which one's worse, Skylar or
she gave the money to Ted. She gave the money to Ted. He should have killed her. I'd have had those Mexican twins.
Did you see that meme I sent you?
Yes.
Yes.
I gave the money to the Israelis. No!
It's Skylar with Trump hair. That's very funny. That made me laugh.
Why did she give the money to Ted? I don't remember the reason.
Ted owed a bunch of taxes, and what was the reason for
the
him?
books had been cooked, and the IRS was going to come in, and she was going to be tied up in an IRS investigation, and they were going to find Walter's money, perhaps, and maybe Ted was going to tell on her somewhat too, and so she gave him the money to like nip that in the bud. But it's like you should have gone to Walter and been like, "Excuse me, genius husband," in a bit of a kerfuffle, housewife here. So I was thinking, like, that's what should have happened. Hi, hormonal housewife here. Wanted to run this by you, genius husband. How many, like Walter's literally a genius.
Walter had enough problems. That was like close
Walter's
to the time.
Walter's a problem solver. He's got 8 people on speed dial who can nip Ted in the bud.
Where Walt Jr. was like, Dad, aren't you, look at how many people are donating to you. And he's just having to be like, I made this money, and now I'm having to pretend to be a freeloader. This defeats the whole purpose of my pride being the driving factor.
I like the alternative plot where instead of her solving Ted's problems with the IRS, they bring in like Better Call Larry, the badass certified public accountant, right? With a little bit of a crooked streak. And this guy partners with Saul and they get shit done. That's where I like it.
And he's very Jewish, so you know that he knows the numbers.
Did you follow up and watch Better Call Saul after Breaking Bad?
For sure. Yeah.
There's an argument to be made that Better Call Saul is better than Breaking Bad. I'm not one of those people, but
both solid.
No, fair enough. I will say, pound for pound, the first like 4 seasons of Better Call Saul are better than the first 4 seasons of Breaking Bad. But I just adore Breaking Bad season 5 so much that I think it just puts it above Better Call Saul for me. But Better Call Saul is a perfect show for me. Those are my 2 favorite shows of all time. Breaking Bad immediately right below, followed by Better Call Saul. I think they're both amazing pieces of storytelling.
Worthy choices for sure. I like Better Call Saul more. Mostly because upon rewatching Breaking Bad, the slow parts were too slow for me. I've gone on and on before getting all upset about the cinematography in Breaking Bad. Just like watching bullshit through a tailpipe or
you're watching
the reflection of a car handle.
You're watching a whole scene through like part of the reflection of a doorknob, and you're like, oh my God, like this is a little grueling. Can you please just bring the characters into frame?
The twins murder this guy in the desert, and you only see it through the reflection of a broken mirror.
Dude, it's too much.
There was a